Hello. This current economic crisis that we're in, I believe, was caused by a few people who believe that the United States was getting too powerful economically for the rest of the world. If you remember when all this started, the United States was doing fine. People were working. Issues that had to do with our socio and economic structure were beginning to be addressed. The only things that we had really going that really needed to resolve was the Iraq conflict and our current problem with Arab extremists. But as far as our economy was doing well. But there were some people somewhere who decided that the United States was just getting too powerful. So how do you bring us down? You bring us down with the one tool that will completely destroy our economy. Now that this takes down portions of the world economy, wouldn't matter. How do you do this? With the price of oil. The price of oil is reaching $150 a barrel. Who did it? Why were the oil traders pushing the price of oil up? Some people say, oh, it was just plain greed. But I think it went deeper than this. If you can put the price of oil at such a height that the cost of doing business is going to become so expensive that you're going to have to put people out of work. This is going to start a chain reaction in the banking system. People aren't going to be able to make their loans. People aren't going to be able to pay their credit cards. People aren't going to be able to afford some of the basic items which allow us to live in peace. Why would you do this? Because someone wanted to be in power who wasn't in power. And they will continue to blame everyone else except for the problem that you have, nor will they address it. Our biggest problem right now is inexpensive energy. What has changed between the time that a barrel of oil costs nearly $150 and now when it's running around $70? Has the Iraq conflict gone away? No. Are we out of Afghanistan? No. What has changed? The only thing that's changed is the Democratic Party is now in the position to push things through that the American people don't want. That's it. The people who are at the more socialist side of our society, the people who want you to believe that the people with money are the problem. It's not the people with money. When was the last time one of you guys was hired by a poor person? I know I've never been hired by someone who is poor. The only people who can afford to hire someone else to get some work done so that their business can make more money are people who have money. There are people in this society now who want to bring us down. They want us to be a third world country. They can't get the votes from the people who are more responsible. So what do? You make it so people in prison can vote. You make it so illegal aliens can vote. You make it so that U.S. citizens can't get a job. Who are these people? Why don't you ask yourself, who are these people who push the price of oil through the ceiling? Who are the people who decided to wreck our economy? And why isn't anyone in the U.S. government doing anything about this? That's because there are people in the United States government, I believe, that are responsible for this. And if they aren't, the people who are backing them are. How do we get out of this? We got two ways of doing this. We can either convince our senators and congressmen that it's time to deal with the base problem that got us in this mess in the first place. And it wasn't the banks. And it wasn't lending institutions. They weren't the mean cause. They were the result. They were the chinks in our economic armor that were pried open so that a knife could stab us. The big problem is the cost of doing business, the cost of fuel. Why should diesel be more expensive than gasoline when diesel is cheaper to make? Why has the price of oil dropped so dramatically when nothing was there to drive it up in the first place? These are questions you guys need to ask yourselves. Now, the people who can really answer this are your congressmen and your senators. And it's time to do one of two things. Clean house. By cleaning house, I mean, these guys either listen to you or you vote their asses out. You got a problem with the Democratic Party? Then do what the leftists did. Join the Democratic Party and take it over. And to do this, you gotta do one simple thing. You gotta register to vote. You gotta get out there and you gotta make your voice be heard. Because if you don't, you only have yourselves to blame. This is part one. If you're interested in listening to what else I have to say, go to part two. Thank you very much.